I hope everyone out there is enjoying their weekend this Sunday, 27 November 2022. It is currently 13:18 hours. That is, of course, 1:18 p.m. in the afternoon for those of you in the civilian world. It is currently 85.5 degrees and climbing. We don't know what our high is going to be today, but it could reach near 90 tonight. Looks like we're going to have a low of about 66 degrees. Barometer is currently 29.91 inches of mercury and falling. It is an absolutely beautiful day here. Definitely one of those days that you're thankful for in late November. It's almost like a summertime day up north. So definitely going to get outside and enjoy some sunshine. But I thought I would get you guys a quick video because there's some major news coming out of Washington, D.C. But I also want to say thank you to everyone who continues to join us over at the Florida Maquis Patreon channel, where it's only $1 per month. And that gets you access to everything we've done over the last 3 to 4 years. It's even less if you sign up for an entire year. Fully refundable. No risk. Up to 90 days. What's the difference between Patreon and here? Well, for that $1 per month, you get access to videos where we can take the gloves off, so to speak. For some people, it's actually been too much. They've showed up over there and they're like, whoa, hold on. We can't. This is too much. This is too much. We can't handle this. And I've gladly refunded their money. We can partner with Vimeo. And we can do things and say things and show things that, well, the modern censors don't want you to see. And they don't want you to hear. And there's a lot to talk about. So would love to have you over there. We have a steady stream showing up every day. So thank you, everyone who has showed up. But would like to give a big shout out to Jennifer LaFontaine. Those of you who've been around with the channel for a while might remember many years ago her channel was Jennifer Veterans for Truth, and we co-investigated the issue with the USS Fitzgerald and the USS McCain. Many of you might remember the collisions that happened way back in 2017. Well, earlier today, she brought something to my attention that I think bears looking into, and it proves something that we've stated many years ago about this issue with Venezuela. They were lying the entire time, and now I can prove it by their own statements. Jennifer Veterans for Truth has also some fantastic content over at her channel on YouTube. She's recently widely known for putting up a short that is, well, somewhat controversial. I'll let you go take a look at it. It's for concealed carry and how you can do it in a dress and how you can get the drop on somebody in a very unique way. So just go find Jennifer LaFontaine, just like it sounds, LA space FONTAINE. Jennifer LaFontaine. Check out her channel. You'll definitely enjoy it. But what is the story? Well, a long time ago, it was very controversial. I made the statement that it wasn't socialism that caused the problems in Venezuela. Were there problems in Venezuela? There sure were. But they were orchestrated by Washington, D.C. in collusion with forces in Colombia. They caused the collapse so that they could blame it on socialism, so that they could reinstall a government down there that would be a puppet government of Washington, D.C. to steal their oil. Now, so many people fell for this story, especially on the right. They love talking about, the dictator Maduro, the dictator Chavez, and, they're going to bring communism to the United States. And all this crap. All this crap. Not looking 1 inch into history and realizing, wait a minute. Venezuela has always been socialist, yet they were our ally for decades and decades and decades, flying the F-16. The first non-NATO country to get the F-16. Now, what did Biden do? What did Biden do? U.S. grants Chevron license to pump oil in Venezuela. You see, they've lifted one of the major key sanctions that caused the collapse. All of these oil companies that wanted to deal with Venezuela, regardless of U.S. position, couldn't. But there's something in the story that proves they're lying and have been lying to you for a long time. Biden administration said on Saturday it would lift a key oil sanction against Venezuela, marking the first significant crack in a years-long U.S. embargo that could eventually help ease the tight global energy market. Chevron, the only remaining active U.S. oil company in Venezuela, is part of a joint venture with the country's state oil company. You know, evil, terrible, horrible socialism. But has been barred by sanctions from operations there. Under a new Treasury Department license, it will be able to resume pumping oil. The limited, now here, pay attention, you're going to love this, guys. The limited license stipulates that any oil produced can only be exported to the United States. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Shouldn't the oil go to the highest bidder? Shouldn't the oil go to the person who's willing to pay the most for it or give the best deal for it? Why just the United States? You see, free market capitalism says what? Well, whoever's willing to pay the most, that's who gets it. Right? I mean, that's one of the key fundamental tenets. You can't have government saying, oh, you can't sell to this person over here. Oh, no, you can't sell to that person over there. You see, this was the case in this country for many years. Many people forget this. See, there used to be a law, and it was lifted in 2015, strangely enough, when all of this went down with Maduro right after Chavez died. Obama actually got rid of this law in exchange for a whole bunch of concessions on green energy. From 1975 to 2015, U.S. oil companies could not sell oil that they pumped in the United States elsewhere. They had to sell to the United States. Now, they didn't like this, so they went elsewhere and pumped other people's oil and then sold that around the world. But in 2015, the oil export ban was lifted. And now people don't understand that, oh, U.S. is producing all this oil. Producing, yes, but not for us. Producing and getting on ships and sending it overseas to the highest bidders. See, we're not the highest bidder. But in this particular case with Venezuela, they have made a stipulation that only the U.S. can benefit from this. Chevron can only sell this oil to the United States. Oh, but it gets better. Only oil produced can be exported to the United States. No profits. Now pay attention to the word here. No profits from its sale can go to the Venezuelan state-owned company, but must be used to pay off Venezuelan creditors in the United States. Now, it doesn't say no revenue from its sale. It says no profits. See, there's a big difference there between revenue and profits. This is a financial boon for Venezuela. You watch how fast that country gets rich and gets rich quick. See, the difference between revenue and profits, revenue is top line money coming in. Profits is just what's left after expenses. Revenue, the whole amount of money you took in. Expenses here, they're using 100,000, 60,000, 40,000. Expenses, the amount of cost it took you to generate the revenue. What's left over, the profit. You see, this was always the big argument with Venezuela and U.S. oil companies. They would make these deals. They would cut these deals to go down there, these joint ventures. And they would say, okay, you get this part of the revenue, you get this part of the profit. And the oil companies were continually screwing PDVSA and screwing the people of Venezuela because they were adding in all of these fake and fictitious quote-unquote expenses that were really being used as profit. Now, full disclosure, PDVSA, this is the Venezuelan state-run oil company. Ecuador has that. Peru has that. Saudi Arabia, Aramco has that. Pemex, Mexico, Brazil, they all have state-run oil companies. Socialism, read. You see, we used to have that in this country. Back in, remember the Greatest Generation? World War II. Oh, and by the way, I don't hear anybody complaining about the socialism, the $353.5 billion in subsidies, meaning government tax dollars sent to businesses to produce and or not produce things and put them on the shelf for a lower price than you would have to normally pay in super turbo hyper capitalism. A lot of people don't realize when you go to the grocery store, 40% of your grocery bill has already been paid by the government in this country. Fact. Look it up. They've just had to admit it wasn't socialism. It was not socialism that caused the problems in Venezuela. It was not socialism. It was not democratic socialism. It was an embargo. It was a financial attack. The Colombians colluded. And now they don't have a choice because the Saudis are not playing ball anymore. Because of U.S. adventurism around the world. And all this other social garbage going on. You see, any country that uses oil to finance its operations benefits from high oil prices. A lot of people think, oh no, high oil prices, oh no, gas prices are going to be high. If we truly were a country that was making money off of its own oil, we would be ecstatic that the price was going up. I mean, who wouldn't? If you're doing something, if you're producing something or you're in business and the price of what you do goes up, that's a great thing for you. It's a fantastic thing for you. Car dealers love it when car prices go up. They hate it when car prices go down. So if we truly were this oil independent nation, we would be rejoicing. But we don't, do we? You see, we're not. We don't have state-run oil. In the United States, no dime, not one dime of oil profits has ever gone, other than in the state of Alaska, by the way, to benefit the people of this country. Hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars into the pockets of big oil barons. And they tried to play this game down here, and they miscalculated. They miscalculated their power, their influence in the world, and they have now failed. All these other companies have left. Chevron is still there, and they are going to go into this joint venture, and they're going to pump all sorts of oil. You see, the first thing Chevron's going to have to do is fix all the wells. Because there's been these huge sanctions on Venezuela, preventing them from even buying parts to maintain the wells. So they're going to have to fix the infrastructure first. And that's going to be a huge boon to Venezuela. And then the money is going to start coming in, US dollars to Venezuela for their oil. And those dollars, and like I said, the profits, true, are going to go to the creditors, but that's what Venezuela would have done anyway. Expenses, though, meaning paying people. It's going to be this huge financial benefit to this country, and you watch. They're going to make the Colombians look like paupers. And once this gets out that we're getting oil from Venezuela again, around the world, everybody else who has been under the gun with these sanctions is going to say, hey, now wait a minute, DC, hold on. If you can deal with Venezuela, so can we. And then eventually another sanction will get lifted. There'll be another concession given. And it's going to go from a trickle to a roar. And the amount of money globally that is going to flow into this country, and into this country, meaning Venezuela, over the next 10 years is going to be huge. And you're going to see, even with Maduro still in charge, that it isn't socialism that's the problem. Washington, D.C. is the problem. Anything and everything they do falls apart. So, I will leave it there. But once again, thank you to Jennifer Veterans for Truth for pointing me in the right direction on this. I hadn't seen this. So anyway, she hasn't put up a lot of content lately, but once again, 1,000 miles away, Louisiana, 3 kids, a lot going on, but well done. Well done. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.